America's obsession with college football is nothing new. College sports have been popular in the US since around the 1920s, and college football is the second most popular sport in the United States, just sitting behind the NFL while being more popular than the NBA, MLB, or NHL. Today I wanted to go over 4 reasons why I think college football and college sports in general are so big in the United States compared to other places. One reason being way bigger than the others. Reason number 1 for me is a sense of community. Now let's say you live somewhere in the United States, a place not very populated, somewhere like Montana. Montana doesn't have any pro teams, including NBA, NHL. What Montana does have is college football. Colleges such as Montana State or the Montana Grizz are really popular there. A lot more people have access to closer college football teams than they do NFL teams. Being close to a college team can really drum up passion for some people. Being around a community with like-minded people, having a sense of community around a certain college football team can really bring the community together. And unlike the NFL, college football teams can't move because they're more than just a football team. They're places that house academics, other athletic teams, so you can't just relocate that, unlike NFL teams. One example being the Rams stayed in Los Angeles until 1995 when the team moved into St. Louis, Missouri. They played in St. Louis, Missouri from 1995 to 2015 and ultimately moving back to California to play in LA. It can really be hard to keep loyalty to an NFL team when they have just the chance of moving away. If the NFL team wants to try and leverage a new stadium out of the city, get the city to pay for it with some of its taxes, and they don't get what they want, ultimately they can just leave because it is a business at the end of the day. My second reason for why college football is so big is tradition. Each school has their own history and different traditions that can really bring pride into being a fan of that team. And these differences can not only be school differences, but also regional differences. Say you're a fan of Minnesota, obviously that's going to be culturally different from a place like LSU. It really gets you to root for your area, your community, and your traditions of that area. With the US being such a big place, it can also bring a us versus the world mentality. It is highly unlikely that your team will win a college football playoff, college football championship, unless you're a major brand. But nonetheless, that doesn't stop people from cheering for their teams and believing in them. Tying more into tradition, when you go to colleges like this, now let's say you live in the US somewhere, let's say you lived in Texas. You grew up in Texas all your life, and you go to college in Alabama. You're on campus and around the University of Alabama for 4 years, maybe even more if you're going back for a master's or a doctorate. That kind of weaves your personality, your pride, your bias into that school. And being an alumni can make you root for a team even more. It makes you feel like you're a part of it. Unlike NFL teams or NBA teams or any pro team, you can't really feel like you're a part of it unless you maybe work for the staff. And the final part of tradition is rivalries. Rivalries are so important in college football because it can honestly make or break some teams' seasons. Sometimes you have a game circled on the calendar and you have to win that game. Coaches need to win that game. Take a coach like Ryan Day, who at Ohio State has lost to Michigan 3 years in a row. Ryan Day has done a really good job at Ohio State, but it's not to the Ohio State standard. Losing to Michigan is honestly putting his job on the line. If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe. I have more content coming on the way in the future. And comment down below, let me know why you think college football is so big in America. Not even just college football, just let me know college sports in general. Reason number 3, and what I attribute to being the biggest reason college football is so big: pageantry. Teams all around the country are different, and you see so many different things from so many different teams. That also weaves in the aspect of the culture and tradition. You won't see anything like it. One example of pageantry you could go with is uniforms. The University of Oregon is often considered Uniform U, meaning they have the best uniforms and uniform combinations out there. But if you compare them to a school like Alabama, who keeps it traditional, they don't mix it up a lot because they win and they want their brand to be out there. It just shows you just differences in culture, and you could do that with so many teams around the country. Not only uniforms, but also mascots like the Oregon Duck or Brutus the Buckeye or Big Red. All these different places put their own little twist on mascots and often can weave the fabric of what their region is into mascots. And this also goes into the music side of things too. Like, HBCU bands are just on a different level of marching band. Places like Jackson State, FAMU, Southern, they heavily differentiate from places like Ohio State that are so well known, and all these other marching bands. It really brings a unique aspect to each school. And the final reason we're going to go over today that I believe college football is so big in the United States is for the atmosphere. The variety of stadiums around the country can really wow a person, and each region puts their own individual twist on it. Places like Georgia Tech, whose stadium's in the middle of downtown Atlanta. And then you could go to Knoxville, Tennessee, where Neyland is up in the Rocky Mountains. It's a beautiful view. They tailgate out on the river. And then down in the Southwest, BYU Stadium right by the mountains, beautiful view. And then finally going to USC, the Los Angeles Coliseum is steeped in history. It's hosted the Olympics before, and overall it's just a historic venue to be at. Not only are these stadiums beautiful, but 8 out of the 10 largest stadiums in the world are college football stadiums. Places like Kyle Field, or Beaver Stadium, or the Big House. Overall, while there can be some lulls in the game, whenever something crazy happens, the atmosphere is unlike anything else. That's without bringing up pregame traditions like War Eagle or Osceola riding out on Renegade that can really get a crowd going, or even the Tennessee Power T. Those are just some of the reasons I think college football is so big in America. But if you enjoyed the video, consider giving me a like and subscribing down below. Comment what you might want to see in the future. I'm just starting out trying to get my legs under me. But besides that, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.